so much. It is such an honor to be here tonight, and it's really my thrill to introduce to you the cast of our movie. First, this Luke Evans, who you know probably from Fast and Furious 6 and Dracula and The Hobbit, but you might not know that he spent many of his early years on stage in the West End in London, appearing in musicals, and I'm so thrilled that he finally gets to show that talent tonight. Josh Gad is also another veteran of the musical theater, most famously Book of Mormon, and he just a brilliant comic talent who probably everybody knows as the guy who created the iconic Disney character of Olaf in Frozen. Please welcome Luke Evans and Josh Gad.
我们看到 Luke 和 Josh 都每人手里拿着一支玫瑰，送给在场的观众。那收到玫瑰的可以说真的是非常的幸运。
你好。
Ni hao. Now we have Dan Stevens, who we all know as Cousin Matthew in Downton Abbey, but he's done brilliant work since then in so many interesting movies, an incredible range, but never before has he played a monster, and never before has he sung until tonight. And finally, Emma Watson. Not only is she an extraordinary, really brilliant actress, but she is an incredibly strong role model for women of all ages across the globe. So it's again my thrill to introduce Dan Stevens and Emma Watson.
那两位也是手持玫瑰，知道他们会把手中的玫瑰送给谁呢？刚才导演也提到了说，Dan Stevens 在大家最熟知的《唐顿庄园》当中扮演大表哥 Matthew 这个角色为人所熟知。那 Emma Watson。 不仅仅是一个非常美丽的角色，同时呢，也是很多人的一个精神偶像，一个 role model。
Well, I mean, again, the thrill is to be here in this spectacular city, and of course, at this park. You know, we grew up in different places, all of us really, but we all grew up with knowing and loving this animated film so much, and it's a thrill to come here and see how much it means here too.
We are so unbelievably excited to be here. I mean, I think that the enthusiasm outside was so heartwarming to us because it's really the first time we've had the opportunity to engage with our fans and to see the reaction, and we're so thrilled to be here, and we're so excited after 2 years of making this movie to finally share it with you. So thank you so much. I think I'm saying this right. She? Is that correct? Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Luke.
Hello.
Just hello.
I've forgotten the question. What was it?
Just a few welcoming words to our audience.
Oh, I love Shanghai. I heart Shanghai. My favorite scene in the movie? I'll tell you my favorite scene in the movie.
Luke,
This is going so well.
Right
Hold on to that. Hold on
I
to
won't
that.
tell you the favorite scene in the movie because that's a secret right now. But I'm very happy to be here. I've been to Shanghai twice before, but I've never had a world premiere in Disneyland. So this is very exciting for me. I feel like a 12-year-old kid again.
So, do you feel like a 12-year-old, Dan?
Do I feel like a 12-year-old? Every day I feel like a 12-year-old. That's my natural state. I'm really, really excited to be here. This is my first time in China, let alone Shanghai. We got off the plane yesterday coming from London, 11.5-hour flight, and we came straight to Disney Town. And Josh, Luke, and I went on the Tron ride. Twice. It's probably the weirdest thing I've ever done, getting off a plane. But definitely the best. And
we were very confused on Pirates of the Caribbean because we were so deliriously tired that we actually thought we were sinking into the water.
We were like underwater.
We were underwater. We really
Like,
were
how
underwater.
are we breathing?
Would you like to say something to our audience?
Hello. I've been to China before, but this is my first time in Shanghai, and I have fallen in love. It is so wonderful. Thank you so much for having us. This role is very meaningful for me. It was a big part of my childhood, and this character formed some of the ideas that I had about what kind of a woman I wanted to be. And so the chance to be her in real life and to dance with the very handsome Dan Stevens was really a dream come true. So I really hope that you enjoy watching it, and thank you to Bill and to all of the fans for giving me the chance to do it, really. Thank you.
Fascinating.
Fascinating. Josh?
Perfect.
This is gonna sound off, but I was walking down one of the boulevards yesterday, and some of the buildings look a little bit, it reminded me of home. Like there was some kind of very English style buildings, so it felt homely.
Well, I would say the most challenging is probably be our guest, because other than Emma Watson sitting there as the ideal audience who is enjoying the number, nothing else exists, you know. So it was a question of, we prepared it for 6 months, we shot it for over a month, we finished it, it took us about 15 months to complete it, and it really was one of those numbers, it was still an act of faith until about 2 months ago when it finally all came together.
Well, he's kind and gentle in there somewhere, but Belle has to dig it out of him, I suppose. Yes, it's great to play a variety of roles and really explore the spectrum.
Did you prepare for it? How did you prepare for it?
How did I prepare? My goodness. I suppose it was a fusion of the intellectual engagement, the ideas of telling this fairy tale to a new generation, joining forces with Emma and seeing her way of looking at this tale, almost the yin and the yang of masculine and feminine energy within this tale, the beauty and the beast and the sun and the moon, it's all there. And so we really looked at that spectrum when we were preparing the ideas of telling the tale, fusing that with the physical challenge of creating the beast in a lycra muscle suit on stilts, very heavy, 10 inches off the ground, recreating the facial performance using a separate technology every 2 weeks. A huge challenge in itself, and trying to remember some of those ideas that we talked about in the very early days when I was sweating away on my stilts.
When we talked about it, I knew I needed to prove that I could sing. I needed to prove to Belle that I had the voice to carry the role, because this is a huge musical, and Belle sings, 4 or 5 songs. It's not like I just have to perform for one number. And so, I was just hoping that Bill would think that my voice lived up to such a beautiful part, and thankfully he did.
It
so,
does.
So I was just so thrilled. I mean, there was no question for me of playing the role. I desperately wanted to play the role.
I've given the rose to the wrong person, haven't I? It was very difficult to play such an unlikable person, because I'm so lovable, like you said. I don't know. When you play a villain, you just sort of have to go for it. You can't really feel self-conscious about being an idiot. You just have to be the idiot and relish every minute of it.
They're both interesting resemblances. I think I'm animated like Olaf, right? I like warm hugs like Olaf, so that's another thing we have in common. All 3 of us sing for no reason at any given time. But LeFou is an interesting character because Bill and I always said he's dumb as a fox, which means he kind of he's much more clever than he appears. Olaf, I think, is a very innocent, sweet, loving character, and that's more me. That's more my soul. So
I can attest to that.
Yeah, and that's why I let Luke live with me for 6 months and kicked my daughter out of her bed, apparently, which I didn't even know about until now.
那大家也太这个了吧，大家也太 hold 得太住了。那我邀请大家一起挥手，然后说“美女与野兽叩响真爱”。好，我们来最后再来，我来数1、2、3，大家一起喊“美女与野兽叩响真爱”。来，1、2、3，美女与野兽叩响真爱。Bill Condon, Emma Watson, Dan Stevens. Josh Gad.